when I.
Unsyndicated presents. Off the Air with Sean Baligian.
It is opening day. What more needs to be said? It's opening day. So glad you can join us. We are at a great spot. If you're planning to come down, because here's the routine. So many people just come down here to hang out, and they're not necessarily going to the game. If you're planning to come down, make sure you check out this spot. This is fantastic. I'm going to ask the boys for their review in just a second, but Batch Brewing is the spot. It's on Porter Street, just off of Trumbull. They got everything out here. They got your craft brew. They've got the unbelievable, look, 15-inch long brisket dog. They've got the smokers flying. It smells like my backyard, Mike. It really does. Yeah, like legitimately, it smells like the backyard.
As soon as I rolled in, I could smell it. I knew it. I walked over there. They actually just unveiled and had a smoker delivered today. I want to say it's almost 5 feet.
Heated tents, heated room inside, and we are out here at Batch. Who is out here? Of course, my buddy Blake. Mike out here as well. We're going to be joined by some guests during the course of the show. How about, you know what? Can I give Jason a shout out? Jason was like the first guy in the comments today. Morning, Sean. Happy opening day. Go Tigers. Absolutely, Jason. This is, I've had the fortune of being at a few other opening days. And am I biased? Absolutely I am, okay? But opening day is something different here in Detroit, Blake. It just is. And Blake, by the way, let me get it out of the way.
Yeah.
760 WJR, Mitch Album Show, and Sports Rap. And of course, a big part of what we are doing here with Off the Air, Unsyndicated, and everything. Blake, you're a young lad. Did you come down here and party all the time when you were a young lad?
I did not. This is my first opening day experience.
Are you serious?
It is. You know me. I don't like going places. I like watching games at home by myself, locked in the man cave.
Nothing wrong with that. Listen, if you can't be down here, have fun with us. We'd love to commiserate with you, have some conversation here wherever you're watching right now. But most importantly, if you are coming down, stop by and say hello. Try some of the great stuff out here that the boys at Batch have going on. This is one of those, what's the term? Hidden gem. This is a great spot. They've been here 10 years. It's amazing. Since we talked about how we were going to be here, I had so many people reach out to me saying, oh my gosh, I love that place. That place is fantastic. You can find out for yourself. Come down here to Batch Brewing. Mike, you've been down here a few times on opening day.
Yep. I used to come down, like I told you, for about 10 years. We had a 30-game package, and we would come down. And the best idea, Blake, if you do come down, you get down before the crowd, and then you leave before the crowd, too.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That sounds like my
smart.
kind of move.
The downside of it is I called them, you heard me say it earlier, the opening day zombies, because some people get down here a little bit too early and they indulge a little bit too much, and they're not down here for the game. But it is always a party, and Detroit is always hopping for opening day.
No doubt. No better place, no place we'd rather be than right here on Porter Street. It's 1400 Porter Street, just off of Trumbull, the Corktown area. This is a fantastic spot. Mike, this is the type of spot I can see, like you and I just coming down here and standing near the smoker.
100%, especially on a day like today. A day like today, with how cold it is, you'll kind of warm up over there by the smokers.
I think this would be a great spot for a college football Saturday.
Okay, I mean,
it has the vibe.
You sign me up.
Okay.
You sign me up.
It has a college football Saturday.
Hey,
vibe.
Dave, we're going to be down here one college football Saturday. We're just letting you know now. Okay, so let it be written. So let it be done. Obviously, if you have some thoughts, we love chatting with you. I mean, that to me, that's the coolest thing about doing this. And Blake, I'm going to let them into the inner sanctum, if you will. So when we started doing this now a couple months ago, Blake, one of the first things you said to me was like, dude, the chat thing's so cool because like it's great watching you chat with the people and everything. I've always been I like talking to people. I really do. And that's what the cool thing about this is, the interaction that we have. And we'd love to see you down here, shake your hand, maybe share a cider or three. But at the end of the day, you know what? I just like chatting with people. A lot of people are excited about the Tigers. We're going to talk so much about the Tigers. That's why we're here. Let's not forget that. I need to take you back, Blake, to a conversation you and I had in the fall. And Mike, I think you can relate to this as well. I am not. Ted says, good morning. Good morning to you, Ted. I hope you're enjoying opening day. I am not go party guy when I go to games.
No. Neither am I.
When I go to games, I want to go to a game.
Yeah.
Okay. No disrespect to anybody out there. I mean, to each their own, whatever works for you. And I think it's safe to say that we all enjoy a drink or two, or sometimes more than that. I've always been the guy, though, when there are these big, quote unquote, opening day parties or college football tailgates. Okay. Mm-hmm. I like to go. I like to have a great time with some brothers and everything. But you know what? For me, it's like I want to keep my wits about me because I want to go watch a game.
100%.
Right?
That's why you're there. Like for us at least. And I mean, other people are there for the party and for all the extracurriculars that come along with it. But I'm there for the game, always, 100%. If I'm going to a game, I'm there for the game.
100%. I mean, hey, we're going to have a soda or two, but we're going to keep it at that. We're there for some food. We're going to eat. If you want to throw a brisket on the grill and on the smoker, we're going to be there. We're going to eat, but we've got a game to get to, whether it's tailgating for football, whether it's opening day here or whatever it is. I think the three of us would agree we're there for the sport.
By the way, Nellie says hello. I wanted to let you know. Nellie misses Mike, and Nellie says hello. Olivia wanted to let everybody know that Nellie is saying hello. And she also said brisket.
Yep.
We were having a conversation about brisket. Okay. Brisket is, Mike, is it safe to say brisket is the most difficult to nail? Is it safe to say?
That is without a doubt the safest comment that you can make. I mean, and just you look at the two of us and how many hours we've put in the backyard, and the only thing that makes us hesitate and shake is a brisket.
It is.
There's nothing else out there. I mean, at first maybe it was some beef short ribs. For you, it was the pork butt,
I could not hit that butt. It was weird. I couldn't do it. Yeah, it was weird.
What?
Go on.
Thank you, Blake, for catching the same thing. But I helped you through that, right? And we're gonna.
You helped him through the butt.
I helped him through hitting the butt. But we got that down. Now you've got that to where you don't even have to think about it.
We're off the rails.
Yes,
3 minutes in.
3 minutes
Congratulations. If you took under 3 minutes, you're a winner.
Yeah.
The key when you got to hit that butt is you got to make sure that there's proper lubrication so it keeps, all the moisture in. You got to keep the moisture in.
You got to spritz the butt.
Yeah, Dave, you got to rub it. You got to do
takes a lot of finger work.
Whoa. Wow. So the brisket, we were talking about brisket. We were talking about brisket, and the brisket with, you got to get the wiggle. You got to get the wiggle.
The wiggle, yeah.
You really do need to get the wiggle. That's the absolute positive thing. But go Tigers, yes, absolutely, Kristen, no doubt about that. And go down here to Batch Brewing. I mean, not just today, but this is a great location down here. So glad that we're partnering with them. This is going to be our spot for a lot of things, quite frankly. In a couple of weeks, we're actually going to be back down here talking about the draft as well. So that's going to be fun. I know we have some special guests that are coming for that. There are going to be some special guests coming here as well. So once again, can't thank our friends at Batch Brewing Company enough. If you haven't been down here, today's a perfect day. Just come down here, have a couple drinks, say hello, enjoy some of the smells. To me, that the smell of the smoker, it's I hate to go apocalypse now on you, but I love the smell of a smoker in the morning.
100. As soon as I pulled in, you said that. Do you smell it? As soon as I pulled down the street, I could smell it, and you're just attracted to it. And for those that are thinking it might be a little cold to come out here, they've got this beautiful shed with heaters out here in front of us. So you're not going to be cold. Don't be afraid of the elements. Come on down.
No doubt about that. I'd also be remiss. I got to thank our guy Todd behind the scenes, and now I'm going to make him blush.
Look at him over there.
As he's over there.
He's playing ring toss.
I think he's playing ring toss, and it's not going well. But Todd, I have belief.
No, keep trying, Todd.
No, you can't quit. You
Don't stop.
You got to keep going. But did you see the website that he put up, man? He like created an unbelievable website.
Yeah.
He's definitely the smartest amongst us idiots.
Oh,
that's
100%.
Listen,
that's a low bar.
Well, there's a clear 1 and 2. Let's be honest. It's Todd, Blake, and then they can debate who's dumber, me or Mike.
Today, Blake's on fire. As we've said, the brain is firing
I don't know
today.
what
You've been on
happened.
fire today.
I don't know what happened. I woke up and I was like, my brain's actually functioning.
You know what? I'm going to if that brain is functioning, let's open up some betting apps.
Yeah, I think a bad idea.
This fell apart already. Now,
Final
so
Four
glad
this weekend. I got some picks.
Oh, baby!
So glad you can join us, and the website. What's the address for the website so people can check out the website? Unsyndicated.com.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out. Todd really did a great job with that. So obviously, again, we're down at Batch Brewing, but we're talking about the Tigers today. You know what's funny? And I'm guilty of this as well. I'm going to call myself out. All right.
Okay.
All the years that I did sports talk radio, not so much on television. Things were more positive when I was working for Fox or things like that. But all the years that I did sports talk radio, there is like a negativity and I don't know, just kind of a misery index with sports talk radio. And as I got older, full disclosure, I got sick of it. And I know that probably sounds contradictory because many of you are going, Baligian, well, you were a hater about this and you never bought in with that. Guilty as charged, okay? What's wrong with just winning 5 out of 6 games to start the season for the Detroit Tigers? People want to pick at it. People want to sit back and go, well, the White Sox stink and the Mets might be the worst team in baseball. And, the A's are a disaster on and off the field. It doesn't mean anything. I almost swore. Screw you. They're 5-1. Can't you enjoy a little nice? That's a good start. Why do we have to pick it apart? Why do we have to dissect it? How about this? The Tigers are 5-1. I'm hoping that they can pound a really bad A's team this weekend. That'd be a great way to start the season. I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. What's wrong with that?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm on your side.
Yeah, I think all three of us are together on that one. But for some reason, negativity sells. People love to be negative. They want to be down on it. They just can't. I'm excited because, as I told you, I want this team to be good. I took the over at 80.5 to get back to betting because I want to buy into this team. I don't know anyone on this team. I'm gonna be honest. There's a couple guys that I know. Schoolboy, some of the bigger names. Mize,
not so much.
I want to be able to sit on my back deck and know what's going on, like I did. It's been 10 years?
Yeah,
since this team. We should be excited this time. Get the negativity out of here.
No, couldn't agree more. And, it's funny. I've said this for people that have followed me on radio or television or whatever. Look, growing up, I wasn't the biggest baseball guy. Mike knows that because he knew me way back when. And for whatever reason, my son, Jack, just fell in love with baseball. I know he's absolutely miserable. He can't be here today. He's living out in LA right now. And it's kind of funny because I would say probably in my late 30s, it kind of hit me. I had this epiphany. I was like, you know what? Baseball's a pretty cool sport. And I feel like I missed out for the first 35, 36 years of my life. I enjoy the game. I love watching the games on Bally. I love going down to Comerica Park. I get it. There are still so many people like the guys from our generation in particular, Blake, Mike and I generation. It's not Tiger Stadium. Of course it's not Tiger Stadium. Nothing is going to be Tiger Stadium. This is a beautiful park that we've had already so many great memories. Obviously, we're waiting for another World Series. There's no doubt about that. But, you think of 06 and you think of 11 and 12 and 13 and 14 and not so much 14, but so many of those, great memories and going down and having the opportunity to see postseason baseball. I always joke, my son was so blessed for a while because we didn't grow up like this. October to my son, when he was like 6th, 7th grade, meant, okay, what days this week are we going to watch the Tigers in the playoffs? Yep. But what a pretty cool era, man. That was a pretty cool era. Let's make no mistake about that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the suffering we did as kids, be it the Dead Wings or the Lions, the Tigers. We did have some good Lions years. But on the other end of it, I always grew up, I was always a baseball fan getting down there. I tried to make my kids, as you did with Jack, try to make them some baseball fans. But again, Blake never being down here, when you said that, it surprised me because you're the generation of kids that you saw some good Tigers baseball, some good teams.
Yeah, definitely. I was just never like the hardcore baseball guy.
Nor was I.
Nor was I. I just never made the trek, and I was always, I've been working a lot. I work a lot.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know why I do that to myself.
No, that's a smart thing to do.
Look at Todd bringing us water.
Ted said, gonna be hopping down there with the Red Wings at home tonight as well. I'm going to the game tonight. I'm looking forward to that long day.
Rubbing elbows and such. Going to the game.
Mr. Season Ticket.
Rangers in town. More on that in a second. We'll talk about the playoff picture as well. But predominantly, we're going to keep it about the Tigers today. That's why everybody's here. Brett said, as a Rays fan, last year our start was insane. People are saying they only beat bad teams. You should be happy when your team beats teams they should beat. Brett, I could not agree with you more. It's funny. I tweeted something out last night in regards to that because for me, the Tigers starting on the road in Chicago and going to the Mets, how many times in the past few years have the Tigers come away from those two series 2-4 or 3-3? And we're like, whatever, okay, let's see what happens when they come. They're 5-1. Like, are you looking like first place Tigers? If somebody just yelled up, like honestly, look, if you're that guy, you want to find something to complain about. There's always going to be something to complain about. Congratulations, you found something. What? You're 5-1, man. Come on, knock it off.
I mean, I would argue that it's easier to take a look at what's going on and find something good than there is to find something to complain about. Like, it's hard to find something to complain about.
Let me give you a stat I heard yesterday. The last undefeated team in baseball has a 50% chance to make the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. So as of right now, we have a 50% chance to make the playoffs. I think that's good, right?
Hey, that's 50% more than they've had in the past.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? Hey, seriously, if you're looking for a place to hang out, maybe you're sitting at home right now going, yeah, I'd like to be down there. What? You can be down here.
Yeah.
If you're in the Metro Detroit area. Took me about 30 minutes to come down here from where I live, and we'd love to see you down here at Batch Brewing. When I look at this Tiger team, I like their pitching staff a lot. I've got some questions about their lineup. I'm not gonna lie. The good news is when they've needed a hit this year, they found a way to get the big hit and everything. But a lot of questions about their lineup. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we know the names, but is Torque ready to hit that next level? And what about Carpenter? And what do we have in Colt Keith? And can Riley Green stay healthy? There are a lot of questions about this lineup, but fellas, I'm telling you, I like this pitching staff. And Mike, you brought it up. It starts with Tarek Skubal. And I don't think the average Detroiter knows. We've got a stud. This kid's a stud. Listen, remember I said this, mark the date. If he bombs, tell me what an idiot I am. It wouldn't be the first time, nor will it be the last time. I honestly think this kid is a full-fledged stud.
I think you're going to send some people into PTSD by saying that because, as you know, the Tigers got in that habit of drafting a lot of arms. We need arms. We're going to get pitchers. and whether it's Tommy John or they just don't, it just doesn't happen. I think people might be a little bit scared of losing this stud, but he's arrived.
Now,
he has arrived.
You've watched much more than I have because, again, I work too much and such. How's Javi been? Has he done Javi things?
He does Javi.
I love Javi being Javi.
He does Javi.
Is it me, or is at times does he look like he's never played baseball?
Yes,
it's amazing.
And the double plays early on, and just it wasn't. See, I'm trying to stay positive today, and you went down negative.
I just
there's not a lot of
name a name I actually knew.
Well, there's not a lot.
Unfortunately, I know Javi.
There's not a lot of positives to say.
Well, I mean, you want to stay positive. He's got more hits than some guys on the team.
Oh, hey. See,
here we go.
There's something about the Tigers. I think there are two teams in this town that have like a connection more than the other teams. And this might surprise you, knowing I'm a quote unquote hockey guy, but I think the Tigers and the Lions have a connection with this city that the other teams don't have. I really do. And if you didn't believe that about the Lions before, I used as Exhibit A last fall. I mean, we went nuts in this town. Yep. And more specifically, we went nuts watching the horde of Lion fans descend on different places. You know, every week they were, look at all those Lions fans in Green Bay. Look at, but the Tigers are another team that they really are, whether we want to admit it or not, part of our DNA. And a lot of that happens to go hand in hand with the tradition that is opening day. And I'll reiterate it. It's not like this in other cities. Yeah, there are opening days and there are celebrations, but so many places like, this beautiful place, Batch Brewing down here in Corktown. I mean, this is a party. Come down here, hang out with us. There's a ton of stuff going on. But like Kirk just said in the chat, I used to ride the bus to Tiger Stadium and pay 50 cents for a ticket on a Saturday. How many moments like that for guys like us, Mike, growing up? Did you have moments like that?
And it's amazing when you think about what you just said with the teams that have the connection to the city, with it being the Tigers and the Lions and not the Red Wings, with the level of success that the Red Wings have had. So it really is this allure of baseball, America's game. It's there. It's lost a little bit, but I would say in Detroit, it has not lost that. The Tigers still have our heart. I think it is a baseball, and my hockey town feelings. I would say that this is a baseball and a football town, and we are itching for that next championship.
People still romanticize baseball.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like we talked about with the Rose Bowl. It's still like there's that romantic feeling, and when the team is good and you get that atmosphere and everything, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it.
And to bounce off of that, if you think about it, and I know you've done a couple of these things. I don't know, Blake, if you've done this, but for years, I took my kids to a game out of state every year. Whether I did St. Louis, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, my favorite ballpark in Baltimore, Camden Yards. I don't do that for hockey. And I'm a hockey guy, but for baseball, you get out in the sun, the atmosphere, like you said, the romantic thing about baseball, you romanticize it.
We would plan family vacations around that, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that. I mean, you and I have talked about it 100 times. Let's go to Pittsburgh. Let's go to LA. Let's go to, Kansas City. Let's go wherever the case may be. And I think to Kirk's point, I mean, for me, growing up, being a Livonia guy. So I worked, do you remember the old grocery store, Danny's?
Yep.
I worked at
great stories.
Yeah. Boy, we'll save that for another day. I worked at Danny's grocery store at 6 Mile in Farmington in Livonia. And one of my buddies worked at the Baskin Robbins just next door to that. And I can't tell you how many times, like, he'd get off of work and he'd look at me and he'd go, "You want to go to the ball game tonight?"
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go. Like just last minute, you just go, let's go to the ball game. And like Kirk said, it was a little different, but I think that year you could go sit in the glorious bleachers at Tiger Stadium.
That's what I was going to say.
For like $2.25
easily. It was unbelievable. And those were the great seats. And then when you're younger, that was the atmosphere you wanted to be in, was the bleachers. That's where we'd go for opening day.
Oh, it was fantastic. But, you know, 2 1/4, you go sit in the bleachers. It's a beautiful, you know, summer night or whatever. And, you know, being a 16, 17-year-old kid, it'd be like, Dad, can I go return some bottles at the grocery store? And that's how I'd get my money. I like, seriously, it would be like, I'm going to go return some bottles, and that's how we would do it. Mason said, I think the Red Wings are starting to gain the faith back from the fans. Just need to get that hockey town atmosphere back. Mason, I agree with you. And I'm going to reiterate something we talked about on What the Puck the other night. Making a playoff will be huge for this team, because I firmly believe you want to get in touch with the community, have an event that is all encompassing, where you can have a bunch of people that aren't necessarily going to the game, like out here at Batch. They aren't necessarily going to the game, but kind of hanging out in the plaza. Like that, to me, that's what the Red Wings need to do. That's why I'm hoping they get into the playoffs, because I think that plaza just outside of LCA will be off the hook. It really will be.
I think that will take the Red Wings and what is already, you know, fans are crazy about it, to the next level. They built that for it, and they haven't been in the playoffs, so they've never been able to use that little TV garden area except for the draft. I took Sebastian down to the draft one year, and we sat there and watched it out on that area. I think that place is going to be crazy if they can make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, so we're hanging out at Batch. We're going to bring a couple guys up here from Batch in just a second here, because you know, we can tell you about the cool stuff that is going on here, but they can really tell you about the cool stuff going on here. This is a great spot. Again, come down here. This is a wonderful spot to hang out before the game. Take a look. Located in Corktown. This cider was good. Mike, I don't know what cider you got me, but man, that was good. But they got the craft beer. They got the scratch kitchen. They got the smoker flying all over the place. I mean, there's nothing like the smell of a smoker in the morning. And of course, they've got a lot of specials going on right now. Make sure you check them out. Fantastic menu at batchbrewingcompany.com. Make sure you follow them. You like them on all the social medias as well. And a couple of the guys that make the magic happen down here in Corktown are kindly joining us right now here on Off the Air. Fellas, first of all, let me say hello and thanks for coming out. Tell everybody who you are and tell us all about this great spot.
I'm Stephen Roginson. I'm the owner of this joint.
Stephen, first of all, Stephen, thank you for having us out here. This is a great spot. It was funny when we were talking about how we were going to be out here. So many people were like, oh, that's a hidden gem. That's a great spot and everything. It's about getting the word out at some of the great things that are going on here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're in our 10th year, so we just had our 9th birthday. Been doing it for a little while, but, you know, everything that you see here, the outdoor activation, this is kind of because of COVID, we, you know, created all this outdoor seating and really leaned into it. So we're sitting in what is a stage for a lot of events we have coming up this year, concerts, various shows, but really just building a place for experience, right? We make great beer, make great food, and being able to put on some events that, you know, highlight all the arts and creativity in the community. Just trying to add value to the community and the food, in the beer, and then also in the arts.
An old friend of mine here as well. We've known each other for a while. I'll let you introduce yourself, my friend, and tell everybody what you are doing down here with Batch as well.
Dave Seacott, Sean. Nice to
I'm
see
familiar with you, Dave.
Dave Seacott. I am the director of marketing and events here at Batch Brewing Company. So Steve and I work very close together on exactly what he said, setting up great events out here. So we have a lot of people who are coming out to have a good time, experience the city, and also be great partners in the community as well. I think that it's very important for not only a brewery, because a lot of breweries are very community oriented, but also a small business like Batch Brewing Company that Stephen has built to really do that. So, and I think we do a pretty good job at it. and we're always working to improve that and increase our reach as much as possible year after year.
Stephen, I think to be down here in Corktown at this point in time is a pretty cool thing, because so much is made in the media of the renaissance of Detroit, the revitalization of Detroit, and I think all one has to do is drive around here. Before I got here today, I drove around, because I have memories of the 1980s and 1990s, okay? And point blank, I would go, okay, I know where to go. I'm going to stay on the other side of Michigan Avenue and closer to Tiger Stadium. This is an area for people that haven't been out here that has experienced, I think rebirth is a fair term to use.
Sure. That's, Corktown is an interesting part of the city. It didn't have the low lows of population loss the same way that other areas did. It's always been fairly densely populated. But when I bought this building 11 years ago, it had sat vacant for a while. It was originally the Porter Street station. It was built in 71. Mostly it was, a Tiger's bar. This was this was the only full service restaurant in the neighborhood. You get a burger and a beer and a shot, at dozens of places, but this is the only place you could come and, get a T-bone and get shrimp cocktail. And there was disco playing. That train car, the 84 Tigers, after they won, they were partying in this place. Gibby and Rosema used to come here and randomly and just like bartend. This place has some deep roots in Tigers lore, especially in the 80s and in the community, but it sat empty for a while. So, it was at that time when we bought it, like kind of a radical statement. We're going to try and open something and not on Michigan Avenue where all the activity was. And it ended up to our benefit. We have all this space to spread out, all the opportunity to outdoor events and get to be a part of a renaissance, I think is a fair word, but certainly a redevelopment of a part of the neighborhood that hasn't always gotten the shine that Michigan Avenue did. So
Steve and Dave joining us. They are two guys behind the brilliance that is this place, Batch Brewing Company. There's just a cool vibe down here. Come down today. Come down here for any event. It is a fantastic thing. Dave, the first thing I said to you when I saw you today was, oh, I love that smell of a smoker. I mean, the fact that you guys got the smokers out there, you actually had, correct me if I'm wrong, you had another one delivered today as well, right?
That's this guy. I want him to talk about it.
No,
dude, what's happening over there right now comes from this guy's obsession.
I actually just dodged a call from the guy who delivered it. Yeah, we're a brewery with a barbecue problem. I'm like a smoker hoarder. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
walk
it
over
is.
here and take a look.
Yes, it
I think
is.
you're talking Sean's language right
It's
now.
borderline ridiculous. But I've been, as many home brewers, I have been making barbecue as long as I have been making beer, and went pro with beer out of a weird confluence of events. I opened a brewery. Wasn't always the plan. Wasn't always a dream. And I sat down my barbecue because I was busy making beer. And over the years, I started picking it back up and getting more into it, more seriously, with a little bit of like commercial in mind. Like, can I actually make some barbecue and bring it here? I didn't run the kitchen. I didn't participate in the kitchen. I was beer and ran the brand. And I just bought a smoker, and then I bought another one, and then I bought so here we are 5 smokers later. No, the one that I got is a fun project, and it's going to be something for a lot of people on the team that want to cook barbecue but don't yet have the experience of the chops to run our 1,000-gallon, to get some experience on a smaller cooker. And I'm probably going to start making some this size, so to get some reps on one this size. So if Dave wants one in his backyard, I'll be able to make a world-class smoker at an affordable price, because that thing would have been a $5,000 cooker. But it's a lot of fun. The barbecue is fun. We're not a barbecue restaurant, but I think we deliver barbecue as good or better than most in the city.
It is unbelievable. I tell people all the time, we've been talking about these guys for a few weeks now. Look at their menu. The menu speaks for itself. I mean, whether you have the brisket dogs, which are on special today, foot long, but they're really not foot long. They're 15 inches. Then the chicken jerk sausage as well. You are absolutely right, Steve, because I have a couple smokers in my backyard. My buddy Mike has a couple smokers. And there will just be weeks at a time where, like, I gotta be honest with you, I kind of check out of society.
Totally.
Like honestly, people
For
don't
sure.
get it. It's just like, where's Sean been? He's been in his backyard. He had a brisket on, then he had a pork on, then he did some beef short ribs. It's unbelievable.
It's like a yoga retreat for people that like smoky meat.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Oh, I'm focusing on myself. I'm looking inward. I'm doing work on me.
Yeah. It's about self-help. Come on.
But then you also get to help other people too.
Yes.
It's not just for me. Where like yoga is like very self-focused, but making barbecue is I get to share that. I get to share my self-improvement with all of you.
Yeah.
I really try not to, like, I'll see him at the smoker and I need photographs for social.
Yeah.
I feel really bad bothering him sometimes because he's like really in tune with it. But I'm like, hey man, can you open that one more time? No.
Yeah, you know
No,
the
he usually
routine.
obliges.
But you know the routine, man. That you don't listen. I'm going to open it once or twice
Yeah.
for very special occasions. But other than that bitch's got to stay closed.
Yeah.
I mean, if I
I
want to
asked.
cook it properly, it's got to
Yeah.
stay closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the adage, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. That's a real thing.
That's awesome. Did you hear that, Mike? If you're looking, you ain't cooking.
Yeah.
That's true. Those bark pieces always find a way to fall
Oh.
off. It's amazing how that works out,
Pit
isn't it?
snacks are important.
Yeah, they're very important. Dave, what are some of the events you guys coming up? I know, obviously we're out here for opening day. And look, if you're coming to a Tiger game, come here anytime before the games. But I know you guys have some pretty cool events coming up as well.
I think the one that's coming up very, very soon, before we get to draft week, we have a reoccurring monthly, which is called Frankenstein's, where we show a horror movie here. Used to do it here in the pavilion. Now the sunlight's kind of messing with us, so we do it on the inside. So we partner with Dewey Pod Monster. It's a horror movie podcast here in Detroit. Very cool local guys, also into with craft beer. But we do that every month. That's on the 18th. We'll be showing Intruder for this one, which is has some close ties to Detroit. So that one will be a great one. We don't have the dog identified just yet, but we always do. Oh, we do.
We do.
Oh, tell me about it.
So we're doing the banh mi. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a green curry pork sausage that's smoked, and that's going to go on that same baguette that the footlong is on.
Yeah.
With a it's going to be a chicken pate, pickled carrot and daikon, pickled jalapeno, and a cilantro mayo.
Look
Yeah,
at that. You got so many people excited out here.
Yeah, man.
People are
Oh,
clapping.
Sean's got to
People
calm
are
down.
clapping.
It's gonna be okay, Sean.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's like sex phone or something.
Right.
Tell me more.
Yeah, and then we
gonna tell you
bring out
slowly.
our 1 liter steins. So we do an Oktoberfest event every September. It's our biggest event. It's fantastic. If you've never been to Munich, and you've always wanted to experience Oktoberfest, I'd say we're pretty damn close. And I think Steven has actually said that
It's fun. It's an
inspired-
homage.
yeah,
it's an homage. Let's be real.
it's inspired some people to go to Munich. We'll say that.
It has.
That's a real thing.
Real talk.
Okay,
People
so
have been
that-
like, "This is so fun. All right, let's go see the real thing," and then they
Yeah.
keep coming back.
See?
We actually had tables of German people here last year, like showing everyone else how to do it right, standing on the tables, like on the benches, dancing
Yeah.
and singing, and eating Schweinhacks and bratwurst. It was a good time.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, of course, draft week, that Wednesday, we have Quizzo Trivia will be out here on Wednesday leading up to round one to where we're doing very special trivia. It's NFL geared, football geared type trivia. So if you're out here during the week, come on out, test your knowledge. If you're a football person, do that. And then that Thursday, we have you guys coming out here. We'll have draft round one on our big screen out here and on the inside. So we have plenty of space for people to hear, listen, bring out your draft parties here. It's going to be a great space for it. We also have a larger event happening on Friday, but
yeah, I think we might have to wait for a press release. But it's a really great partnership. We're going to have some noteworthy speakers come out, live music, local artists. It's going to be, honestly, it might end up being the coolest thing that's happening in the city that's not inside of the activation footprint. It's going to be legit. So that Friday is going to be real special.
It's so cool because, the one thing that I think goes overlooked in a situation like this, and our friends from the Detroit Sports Commission that are bringing in Visit Detroit, that are bringing in events like this, that we all benefit from, and it's bringing people down here to hang out at a cool spot like this for an all Detroit event. And if you're going to do an all Detroit event, as far as I'm concerned, why don't you stay down here in Detroit, right? I mean, that's what it's all about, because this is where it's happening. Anything else we need to let the people know about what you guys are doing down here?
I guess I'm going to say that June, be ready. We're going to have live music 2 to 3 days a week. We're going to have a blues brunch with a fabulous band that we found with pedal steel and all sorts of amazing instruments. Like the music level and the entertainment level that we're doing outdoor programming is going to be kind of unlike anything in the city. So I am pumped. Hopefully, as things get closer, we'll come back on the show and talk about June events.
Anything that we can help with. I mean that seriously.
And
make sure you follow these guys. They're all over social media. Make sure that you follow these guys. Great menu, great beers, great cider. I already downed one, and I'm going to keep it at one, by the way, because I have to be professional. But boys, really, Dave as well, thank you so much for joining us. If we can help in any way, make sure.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Check out what these guys are doing down here at Batch Brewing. This is a great spot as people start to come in, and you could see all the faces out there and the mouths watering as well. Look who's here. Oh, my goodness gracious. My buddy Ronnie is here, huh? We're going to check in with Rogelio in just a second. We had to get one legitimate baseball guy out here.
It's probably for the best.
We're going to check well, you know how we got Rogelio is we're going to hook you up with some barbecue, okay? Yeah, you know what? You come back over to the house, and yeah, that's exactly. Oh, look who chimed in from East Lansing.
Look at that.
My daughter. Isn't that nice? Hi, Lauren Baligian. Hope you're having a good time up at Michigan State.
Real quick, Ronnie, have you shit talked any Oakland A's fans today?
Haven't seen any. So we'll
But
see.
if you do,
It's on the table.
Wait.
It's on the table.
You're going to say that they could get 5,000 fans to their opening day, that there's going to
That's
be an
true.
A's fan here in Detroit?
That's true. It's very true.
Come
Great
on.
point.
So Ronnie worked with us at WJR, and as you can tell, Ronnie he's a nice guy. Look at him, Ronnie. Show everybody what a nice guy you are. Look at that. See that right there? Ronnie's
Hey,
a
guys.
nice guy, and then something flipped in Ronnie.
Ronnie's got demons in him.
There's something deep and dark inside that kid.
It was game day. It was game day. That's the only thing.
So Ronnie, when we were doing the event, when my pal Lomas went into the Pride of the Lions, Lomas and I were doing a show down there, and Blake had to get a ride down. So he asked Ronnie, can you give me a drive down, and then we can take off, and Blake can join me. Blake and I ended up going to the game. So Ronnie's like, sure. And Blake walks up to me, and it was like he had seen a ghost. He just has this look on his face, and the 1,000-yard stare. And I'm like, dude, what's up? And he goes, you can't believe what just happened. And I go, what are you talking about? What just happened? And he goes, dude, like Ronnie, something snapped. And I'm going, what? Wait, Ronnie's the nicest guy. I invited him over my house. Come over again for a barbecue. You missed that barbecue. You were on a hockey trip in November when Lomas came over and Ronnie came over and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, so what happened? I'm going to let you pick it up from there. Go right ahead.
So we're driving down Woodward, and we're pulling into where we were going, and there was people crossing the street that shouldn't have been crossing. Ronnie just rolls down his window, and I got to remember the exact quote. He basically was like, he knows exactly what it was. You
face.
fill it in.
Go ahead, Ronnie. What'd you say?
I think it was something to the effect of "Get out of my city," or something like that. You don't belong here.
He was like, get the F out of here.
You don't belong here.
Something like that.
You people.
And I was like,
He's the nicest guy. Like,
was
do you understand?
incredible.
Like, look at him. He's just a nice guy. And honestly, when he told me that, I'm going, no way, not Ronnie. He's a nice. So then from that point on, like we all just called him Killer. Like Lomas would walk in and he'd see Ronnie and he'd go, "Hey, Killer, what's up?" It was because we didn't expect that coming.
Yeah, it's stuck too. I mean, and I don't hate it. It's an all right. I don't hate it. You know?
Oh
But, what can I say? On game day, something else comes out of me. You know.
Oh, and here we go. Hey, it's game day today, so stay out of the street when he's coming by.
Yeah, if you see Ronnie, it might be in your best interest to go the other way. He might maul you. He might.
And Ronnie is also an incredible writer. He was telling me the other day he's got some stuff in the works with NBC with some writing,
Good for
stuff
you.
like
Oh,
that.
great.
Seriously.
Yes,
So
sir.
super
Thank you.
talented dude coming up. So
He is okay. Obviously, we're having fun, although it's honest, and we're just as kind of a warning to society. He walks amongst us. If you see him go the other way, great guy, incredibly talented. Mike, we ran into Ronnie out at the Trenton Showcase. He's a Trenton
yeah.
guy,
Yep.
and I know you were helping out at the showcase out there. What else is going on with you, man?
Not too much. I'm graduating in May.
Good for
And,
you. Wayne State.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Wayne State, took a pit stop in Bowling Green. Shout out to the Falcons.
There you go.
And just going to be exploring my options and trying to see where I can go.
Good. If we can help you with anything, you know that, pal. I
Yes,
think
sir.
the world of you.
I
Are
appreciate
you
it.
going to come over to the house again?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Am I going to get an invite?
Yeah, I kind of value my
life.
life, so the answer is yes. I don't want to be knifed. All right. Nice to see you, pal.
You too. Thank
All
you.
right,
Thanks for
good
having me.
stuff. I love the orange tiger jersey.
Gibbs
by
is
the
It's
way.
a clean look.
Yeah.
Throwback.
Yeah, that's an all-day throwback. Obviously out here having a great time. We'd love for you to be out here. And maybe you're looking for a place to hang out even now. It's great to see so many people not only in the chat but certainly viewing this. This is the time. What do I have to say? Like and follow and
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Everyone inside watching at Batch here. Everyone come outside, and we have a QR code right on the table here. All you got to do is scan it, and then you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
absolutely.
Easy as that. But if you're watching, subscribe, like the video, like all of our old videos.
Yeah.
Get that algorithm rolling. That's what we need to do.
I mean, can it get any easier? Just get off your table over there, get in here, and scan our code.
Scan the
Let's
code.
go,
That's it.
people.
One of my old friends, Lori, watching. Let's go Tigers. Absolutely. Lori, congratulations. Lori is going to be a grandmother soon.
Oh.
Lori grew up across the street from me. Her
Okay.
brother, Joe, one of my oldest and best friends, longtime friend. And congratulations to you, Lori. And I think that's awesome, and give my best to your family as well. Yeah, so we're going to be out here until noon. Ample opportunity for you to come hang out as well. Here's another guy that he's been over. You've been over a couple times, right, Rogelio? Or was it once?
Once, yeah, once.
Oh, well, we're going to have to change that.
Yeah, I'm due to bring over my empanadas because I've been.
Oh,
promising
that's
those- yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
Remember
right.
that?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you remember, we ate enough that day to think that it was 2 times.
That's very true.
That was a fun day. That about a year ago, right? Didn't we do that?
Yeah,
No,
about a
2
year ago.
years ago. Was it 2 years
a little
ago?
while ago.
Yeah, I
little
think it
while
was.
ago,
I
yeah.
think it was 2 years ago. He does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what you do, because it's so funny. A lot of times, in the business, I'm supposed to tell people what. No, you tell people what you're doing. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. I'll give you the handle and all that. But Rogelio, I'm serious. I'm not just saying this because I know you. I think some of your baseball coverage and Tiger coverage is the best thing out there. And I told a couple people, in my humble opinion, and I've been fortunate enough to be in this business for 29 years now. I think you're going to blow up real soon, man. I know things are going to happen for you, and it makes me happy.
I would really appreciate that, Sean. So you can find us, you can find me and our work at TigerMLReport.com. Also, I run the Motor City Metrics podcast. I've been doing that now for 8 years now. Yeah, I'm just excited to be here. And in terms of just that's where you can find us. It's been a good year so far for the Tigers, and I'm just looking forward to the coverage and just continuing to do it. And I love it. It's just there's a lot of things in the minor leagues to look forward to, and the Tigers are off to a 5-1 start. What else?
Amen. Hey,
Yeah.
make sure you follow him, Rog, ROG Cast Baseball on Twitter. Tigers, ML Report, MCB Tigers, fan-sided MLB, Baseball Writers of America. What is it?
Oh, the Baseball Writers Association.
Association of America.
Yeah.
Easy for you to say. I want to start right there, okay? Because, Raj, earlier in the show, I admitted I have been part of the problem, okay? I openly admit it. I think in years gone by, being on sports radio, you have to look for a different hook. You have to look for a different angle. So I could hear myself saying, well, yeah, the Tigers are 5-1, but who have they really played? Can't we just sit back and enjoy the fact they're 5-1? Because this slate in years gone by, maybe the Tigers go 2-4. Maybe they go 3-3. They're 5-1. Stop complaining.
Yeah, and please stop whining about it, because if you're going to sit there and analyze Hinch's lineup choices already, you seriously got some problems. Because, I mean, look, the White Sox – okay, let's face it. The White Sox are a joke. And they're going to be a laughingstock for a long time. But you go in both Chicago and New York, and your bullpen does what it's supposed to do, and it does a fantastic job. Even yesterday, I didn't fault Alex Vaedos for. I mean, again, the bullpen's just been flawless when they've been able to get big strikeouts. Jason, you're seeing the little things. When you see Foley going three more miles an hour on his fastball, and you're seeing more movement for a slider, can I swear on this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go, holy shit, that's awesome. Those are those are little things like that. Those steps like that where you go, you can microanalyze and go, okay, that's progress. Those are significant steps for a winning ball club.
Yeah, and you look at even yesterday, I was impressed with, it wasn't some of the big names before we had the home run there to push the game into extras. The bottom of the lineup, little things that we didn't see out of the Tigers, the bullpen, the bottom of the lineup. Be excited, people. Let's go.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, there's one person that's been really standing out to me is Carson Kelly. I think Carson Kelly, he has been able to come up. He came up with a big home run. He had that RBI single in Chicago, and he's done a pretty good job behind the plate. I know some of the defensive metrics might, if you look at some of the advanced metrics, you might sit there and go, it's too early about framing, one of those things. However, be that as it may, it's good to see a backup catcher come in and be effective when he needs to be. I mean, Jake Rogers off to a slow start right now, but you see enough in Carson Kelly and Riley Green with a big home run, that swing. I mean, God, I love watching Riley Green swing. That swing is just so, oh, man. And
Will Clarkish. Am I allowed to say that? Like the natural Will Clarkish,
Yeah, and Riley Green is just as animated, does a pretty good job as Will Clark. Some of the Will Clark interviews he's done, but I digress. But it's hitting too like Colt Keith. Like you saw that at bat, that 6-pitch at bat, takes the ball the opposite way. Again, just showing his knack for hitting. And that's a guy I'm most excited about. Like, I've watched a lot of bat. I mean, Sean, you remember, I don't even know how you did a show in the 90s and in the 2000s with some of those Tiger teams. I mean, Felipe Lira. We're going back to some all-time like teams. And Colt Keith's the first time and that I can remember the infield prospect like that to come up and be like just make the opening day lineup like that and go, wow, this guy can hit, legit.
Lunar Vixen said Raj is the only person that's made me even slightly understand baseball. Totally underrated dude.
That's high praise.
Thank you.
Well, and I will echo your sentiments. I've told he's going to blow up. It's just a matter of time. I think when you're this passionate and this knowledge about the sport of baseball, especially as this team continues to progress. How about a guy like you, Blake? What would you ask a guy like Raj? Because there really is, Raj, I think you know this. There's a generation of baseball fans that kind of are like, yeah, whatever. They've been so bad for so long now. What's something that you want to get excited about with this baseball team?
I need to know not as someone that doesn't follow baseball on the day-to-day, but wants to get more into it and follow this Tigers team as they're getting better. What are the names that I need to pay attention to?
Well, I would say, like I said, Colt Keith, just at the top of the head, because he's a young guy who's going to be around for a while. He's got that 6-year deal. You have Riley Green. Again, it's one of those, oh, my God. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just sitting there going, baseball. Wait,
what? Okay, yeah. Hold that thought. What do we have here?
Yeah.
Just so I'm let the people know what we have here.
Chef Brendan Edwards.
Chef, how are you?
Good.
You're the best. What do we got right here?
So we make all these sausages in house. This is 100% beef brisket, 14, 15 inch long, foot long.
We're not
with,
worthy.
Bologna coney. So we made our own bologna.
Wow.
Chopped it up so it's nice and tender and eats like a coney dog. Yellow mustard onions, just like normal. And our corn dog is a hot honey corn dog with a chipotle mustard and a little pickled mustard seeds on it.
Look at that.
Is that chili?
You're a legend, dude. I got to shake your hand. You're a legend.
That's a thing of beauty.
Mike's got to ask about the gluten-free. Like, he just got the.
I am in.
He just got the official thumbs up.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, boys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
make sure you come out here and check out all the chef's great things. As I said, Mike and I are big jerk fans, not because we're jerks, but we love.
You are.
And they have a jerk chicken sausage out here that. All right, so Raj, Colt Keith, go on.
I think Cole Keefe is a good guy. You should pay attention. Derek Skubal. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a potential Cy Young award-winning guy. His stuff is fantastic. I think Jason Foley too is another guy you should pay attention to. But if as just a casual fan, if you're gonna pay attention, those are some of the names. And a guy like I think because I think of him as a really good grinder kind of person, as a player who just goes out and busts his ass all the time. Mark Hanna. I mean, I think he's he's a pro's pro. He's that veteran that the Tigers needed, and you might remember him if from as a Met or a Brewer. But I think he takes a really good approach at the plate, and so those are some of the names you should start really paying attention for the future. Another game, Jace Young down in Toledo. That's another guy you should pay attention to because he had his first home run last night for Toledo down in Iowa, which is just the win, and he hit it out really I think it was over 100 miles an hour. That's another guy you should pay attention to.
I love it.
I love that you brought up Mark Canyon because I think a guy like that, you can't put a price tag on a guy that he just finds a way to get on base. You know, that OBP is become such a, rightfully so, big part of the game. This is a guy that finds a way to get on base and can work a count.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? It's when the Tigers brought in Luis Gonzalez. I mean, remember that? That was like, we didn't realize how much he would take advantage of that right field short porch. And Canna, to me, has that same, he can give Torkelson a day off at first. And he's a guy who really understands, and talking to him at spring training, he knows it's a long season. He's not going to be just going out and this kind of weather right now. He's going to take his time, and I really think he's going to be a player that's already his veteran. I'm starting to look at that.
Yeah.
Look at what you did.
The veteran presence it's already rubbing off in the clubhouse already, and so I think that he might be one of the most underrated next to Tyler Holton, a move by Sky Harris.
Can I?
All right, now that you stop, no, hold on. You think of something for 40 seconds so Raj can dive in and
Well,
get
I
some
can
of
think
that,
about people liking the video, whether it be on Facebook or on YouTube or wherever you're watching, Twitter, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is our website, as we talked about earlier.
Oh, is that
Todd
good?
did an amazing job with
is that
it.
good?
Todd, is the shop also live, ready to go, active? Check out the shop. There's a bunch of merch on there.
There's
bunch of merch.
Mita merchandise.
Do they have the posters so that they could put the posters of us up in their bedrooms?
Soon. The posters are in the works, but check out all of our stuff. Everything's growing and expanding as we're growing and expanding. And it's very exciting.
Yeah, Raj, you just enjoy that, okay? We'll check back in with you in a second, Raj. That's exactly it. Nice to see the coach out here, Kirk Hunter. How are you, buddy? Played with Kelly Miller. See, I promised you we'd mention it. We mentioned it off the air and then off the air, or what the puck as
Off
it were.
the,
So
Did you see what I thought of too? Off the air, on location. That was my idea.
That's
what this is called.
That's how much his brain's been firing.
It's been working. My wife's out of town. That's why I've been getting extra rest.
all right, I think we got Raj back. Raj, how'd that go down? Was that good?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Oh, my God.
A brisket dog. It's just simple,
smoky flavor to it.
Oh, that
The
smoke.
chili was just very subtle in there, and the mustard was just enough on there to get you get that coney feeling.
Yeah.
You get that smoked brisket right in there. immediately.
He knows
Oh,
what
we
he's
just
doing.
went food net. We just went food network.
So
He knows what he's doing.
I have a question about a name that you brought up during your last answer. Spencer Torkelson, what can he be? Like, what are we looking at? What is like peak torque, or where do you think he's going to slot in?
That's a tough question, like, because the one thing is that he has that caveat being the overall number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of pressure. I remember comps of being former White Sox Paul Konerko,
Mhm.
and that's a lot. And so I think fans are expecting the kind of almost like I don't want to say Hall of Famer per se, but we're expecting that 300 hitter with 30 bombs. And I think Torque has the ability to do 30, 40 home runs a year, maybe hit 250, 260. I want fans to understand that. I mean, for Torque, there's sometimes where he misses center cut fastball. You get infuriated, but then he does go out the next time and then hammers a mistake. I think Torkelson just needs to be a little more consistent for fans. The expectations of him because of this number one pick, I think, have hurt him a little bit. I think it's kind of it's giving fans the expectation he's going to be, and I think he was a little rushed. I really think he was. And Avila, no offense to Avila or anything, but I think they rushed him without really a plan. And so I think he's going to continue to evolve as a hitter. And I think he's going to be a guy who the Tigers, I really think this year, if he can get to 35, 40 home runs, that's going to be the difference for them to win the AL Central.
Raj, I want to talk to you about Tarek Skubal in just a second, because I'm convinced that the average fan has no idea what we have. I'm convinced. I want to get your thoughts on that. But I want to remind you, we are down here at Batch Brewing Company. Make sure you come out here. It is a blast, not just today, any day. We are going to have a draft night extravaganza down here as well. I know we're going to have some special guests. I know Scott Bischoff is going to try to get out there. I gave the invite to our boy, Matt Shepard, as well. Hopefully Shep can come out here. Blake will be out here. Hopefully, Mike, you'll be out here. We'd love to have you out here as well. If you can't navigate your way downtown to the magic area around Campus Martius, come hang out with us. We're going to have a draft reaction and draft thoughts all the time. If you're not familiar with Scott Bischoff, shame on you. He's one of the best in the business. He's done such a great job scouting, watching tape, and getting some of that draft info out there. So yes, definitely this is the spot to be. 1400 Porter Street, batchbrewingcompany.com. Raj, I firmly believe that Tarek Skubal is the next great Tiger above anybody else. I'm not going to ask you if you want to talk on that. You go right ahead. But part of the problem with Tarek Skubal and I think the masses here is he finished so strongly last year. I mean, people don't understand how sick he was down the stretch. And that happened to coincide with Lion fever and Michigan starting what turned out to be a national championship season. I don't think the average fan understands, A, how he finished this season last year, and B, just how good this kid is.
It's really rare, Sean, and we've talked about this before. The Tigers are getting a guy from the 9th round who dropped to him because he was injured and was able to come in, and he's been shoving. I mean, you saw his numbers in the minors. Once he started learning how to command and be a pitcher, there's a difference between going out there throwing hard and have no idea what you're doing, and then you become a pitcher. I mean, his numbers last year, he had the best ERA whip in the league. It wasn't close. A lefty like that with power, that can throw that hard and with that kind of ability, is the Tigers haven't had anybody like that. I mean, I'm bold to say it. It's like it's a lefty like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think of Mickey Lolich, Lowly Poly dude. That's the all-time Tigers great lefty. And then you have Justin Thompson. No one knows who Justin Thompson is. Blake, do you know who Justin Thompson is?
No idea.
Isn't that sad?
Yes. This is the same guy that we saw go up against Pedro Martinez in his prime and was able to hang with him. But that might be a lot of gibberish to people out there just now with that. But do yourself a favor today. If you're watching a game at home, record every single. It's must-see JV. It's the very same thing. Their Skubal is a dude. He is a dude. He goes out there and just shoves. and you're going against the A's or whatever, West Sacramento, whatever the hell they're going to be called this going forward. What a joke! What a fucking
Sell the team.
Sell it. And you have Phil Nevin batting fifth here. That you're gonna see a guy who's gonna practically almost throw a no hitter today, guys. That's how good Derek Skubal is, and you should pay attention. Again, I know the injuries scary. I know with injuries histories, but it's a shooting star that's just gonna keep getting brighter.
Brett asked in the chat, after the first two series, what is the Tigers' ceiling in this division, in your opinion, Raj?
I think that, again, I think the biggest thing is if the biggest ceiling for them is I think they could win the division if I hate saying that word, if the offense comes around. We saw very, very like the offense. There's too much inconsistency there. I mean, as far as if you get Matt Verling batting under 100, you have Jake Rogers batting 100. These are, again, I know it's really early, but what I'm concerned is if Riley Green's not having a good day, if Torkelson and then Cole Keefe, what do you got? I mean, Mark Hanna could do things, but he's only one person. I think the ceiling is they get close to. I think they should do is take a prospect they have, like a Ty Madden or Wilmer Flores, and trade for a bat. I really believe that because you have prospect capital for the first time. You have guys that you can go to a shop in another organization, and other organizations are picking up Tiger guys. It's not like for 20 plus years the Lions couldn't get a head coach or any other players being picked up. It's the same thing now. The Tigers are developing pitching. Why don't you use that as a strength to strengthen this lineup? Because Gino Urasela, yeah, he had a couple hits yesterday. That's great. Is that going to be sustainable? I mean, it's no guarantees either that Jace Young's going to come up and just rake automatically. I'm happy about that, but I still think they need another veteran bat. And I think the ceiling for them is until they get a veteran bat, I think they just fall just shy. Because Cleveland, I mean, Shane Bieber's back to being Shane effing Bieber. I mean, shit, like the guy is throwing 92, 93 and is paint like Greg Maddux style paint the corners, just masterful.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck. Like, and then they don't have Gavin Williams on right now. But Minnesota, I'm not worried about Minnesota. The more I see Minnesota, I'm like, I mean, they're a couple injuries and they're screwed. Even Kansas City with their wild free agency, Kansas City still doesn't really have to me a plan in place. But I think the ceiling for them is they could potentially win the division if it just everything has to go exactly right. Because AJ Hinch is all the managers too in the division. You think about it, he's the longest tenured one right now, I believe, and he is the one that's going to the way he manages his bullpen is. He's got that leadership, or he's got the ability to, and I think that's going to be the difference between him and Rocco Baldelli, Minnesota, who again they have so much injuries to overcome. That's gonna hurt them.
Roger's getting me gassed up.
He really is. I mean, that's what I was just thinking. Listening to him, I'm like, this is like we've been trying to get to the positive side of Detroit. Hearing Skubal and JV in the same sentence, you got to be excited. Hearing about some of these guys, the possible maturing of Torkelson. Getting me excited. Now, let's get some more excitement. What are we thinking we can expect out of Mize coming off the injury?
I think Casey Mize, he showed in his start yesterday. He labored a little bit, but I think the potential's there. I think the biggest thing for him is if he can throw his fastball to get that strikeout pitch and to get that top of the zone. Because one thing about him before this was he always had a problem with getting that fastball as a strikeout pitch, as a wipeout pitch. And we saw it in spring training, but then again, you go, oh, fuck it, spring training doesn't matter. But I think if he can continue the velocity's there, it's increased. They're showing some movement on it. If Casey Mize can take that next step in also longevity too. I mean, this guy hasn't pitched in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the most innings he's ever pitched, I believe, is like 130. And now I understand that innings are not, the 200 inning plus guys is a rarity. But if you can get Casey Mize to go 150 at least, and give you at least 25 starts and keep his ERA around 3.54 or 3.54, I think you're in business. Because I think the biggest thing for him is his secondaries are really good. His split finger is wipeout. It's just getting that fastball established early in counts and really making him hopefully go 5 innings each time. But I think the biggest thing for Casey Mize, you just pray for health.
Yeah, no doubt. One of the biggest Tiger fans I know, and I'm biased, has entered the chat. Jack Baligian. Hi, Jack.
Hey.
I miss you, son. We've been down here for many opening days in the past. Wish you were here, but hope you're having fun in LA and go see Dodger Stadium. That's a great, Raj. I don't know if you've been there. I loved Dodger Stadium.
I've been wanting to go. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah, great. All right, so it's opening day, and I don't want to become what I detest and become a hypocrite and talk negative. So I'm going to try to phrase this as positively as I can. Javi Baez. I know. Okay, so we got it out of the way.
See that breath?
We all got it out of the way. Okay. All right. Is it salvageable? Can he go back to maybe what we saw in the past? What are you seeing when you watch Javi?
I still see the same mistakes. I still see a lot of the lounging. I mean, they're talking about the swing mechanics, and I still see him chasing a lot of pitches. But that's who he is. The thing is that I will say this. This is the thing that makes me mad about Tiger fans with this. Well, you knew going into this that's who Javi Baez is.
100%.
So don't bitch to me about that's he's swinging at bad pitches. That's his MO since Chicago. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is good, and that's where to me, if he can feel the ball and get the ball over the first base, that's fine. That being said, I mean he had a clutch hit yesterday in the Mets series. I just want Tiger fans to understand that Baez is who he is. Is he going to be a guy that's going to hit? I think I want to sit there and say the best days are behind him. And you know me, Sean, I think I've always tried to keep it real as possible and not be cynical or be too negative. But it's brutal sometimes when you see a 3-pitch at bat going, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Really? But defensively, he is the best glove they have because down in Toledo, Eddie's Leonard, which everybody's talking about. Oh, you put Leonard over Baez. No. Like Leonard is good, but he has got some stone hands. You're not going to put a guy that has not been above AAA as your shortstop. What are you, nuts? Is that and Ryan Kreidler? Thank you. Ryan Kreidler, I think, is good defensively, but he has to be more consistent. But Baez does drive me insane because sometimes I feel like I have to stick up for him. Because everybody else, it's so easy to bash the guy. It's so easy. But the guy is, the element of him being a human and a baseball player. But fuck, I mean, just sometimes one of those at bats are just like, come on, man, like,
But this is it. This is the feeling of that's the bias.
You literally, I just
biased.
watched a roller coaster of emotion.
Because it's absolutely correct. Because on the podcast, we'll get people going, "Why are you guys so?" You guys are so you guys stick up for Baez. It's like who else is going to? Because it's not all shit, right? I mean, there's some good stuff to it. I mean, like I said, but in all seriousness, if Baez just does what he's supposed to do defensively and just does that and the bare minimum, that will help the Tigers. You need a plus defender up the middle and a defense and a pitching staff that's going to get you ground balls.
It would be fantastic if this team could get back to the postseason. I mean, I can't believe this fall is going to be 10 years. I remember, Raj, I went to that game 3, a miserable Sunday afternoon when they lost to the Orioles. And it was so weird, like a precursor of things to come. A few seconds before the Orioles finished their sweep, the Buffalo Bills beat the Lions. So you had 55,000 fans coming out of Ford Field like this. And you had, 42,000 fans coming out of Comerica. There were almost 100,000 fans that were ready to jump into the Detroit River and let the current take them away. But listen, Raj, when I look at the American League, the Baltimore Orioles are loaded. I know a lot of people kind of are looking at them at the favorite. Is there anybody that jumps out to you that you think, well, I think this is probably the team to beat in the American League before I ask you about the NL?
I really think Texas is still really good. I mean, like look at Wyatt Langford, which I mean, if you guys go on YouTube and look at Wyatt Langford reaction when the Tigers drafted Max Clark, I was but I had to retrieve myself on that. But look at Texas. I mean, if you have a guy like Wyatt Langford coming up there, plus you have Garcia, you have a really good team that's coming back. And this is a team that everybody forgets they win on the road.
Yeah.
That ring they showed with all the different logos, that's so subtle. And it's a subtle fuck you to like the American League going, hey, we did this on the road.
Yeah.
We did this on the road. And I think Texas, I think Houston too. Houston's a team to watch still. And I think that the NL East, is not as deep as it used to be. I don't think the Yankees are anything that's concerned yourself with, but it's the AL West. They're still a juggernaut. I mean, of course, outside of Oakland, they're a joke, or whatever the A's, whatever their name is. But
Wherever they are.
Whatever they are. Seattle, Houston and Texas are really, really, really good.
What do you think about the Indians? I mean, they're off to a great, their run differential's like plus 30. I mean, obviously consider, I'm getting it out there, but there's always been this fear, at least for me, especially when their former manager was there. You sat back and okay, Tito's going to get him going because that's what he does. And so people talk about, I always feared the Indians, or excuse me, the Guardians. Sorry. But honestly, what do you look at that team? Is this just kind of an aberration and part of who they played to start the season?
I think the Guardians are serious because I think they have enough pitching there because they've been able to develop pitching very well throughout their minor league system. They have guys outside of Jose Ramirez. I think another guy they have right now down in Columbus, Kyle, I'm totally going to butcher his name. They have a first baseman who they picked up from Tampa with a sweet swing, dude. When you watch this guy swing, he's got good power stroke. Cleveland will always concern me. Even with Stephen Voigt, I know that as a manager who's never managed before, they're still their player personnel and how they develop players is great. And that's what's going to keep them in the race. The thing that I'm concerned with or I think what you shouldn't be concerned with is what you just said. No Terry Francona.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Francona was one of those guys that you really could take. I mean, he was one of the guys that could take a shit sandwich and somehow polish it to make it look like a chicken sandwich. He really was that good of a manager. And now you don't have him. That is going to help. Well, I think going to deter Cleveland in the long run because I don't know anything about Stephen Voigt. Do you guys know anything about Stephen Voigt?
No.
Nope.
No, I mean, outside that he used to be a catcher for the Mets. And that's about it. And I think that's where if Cleveland will still – I think Cleveland will make everything entertaining. But it's just a matter of AJ Hinch versus Voigt. Who are you going to have trust their bullpen? You got Hinch.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If I was to say, because I've always got to take stuffing to the betting level. So I need that sleeper. I need that dark horse.
Here we go.
I need those.
Everything comes back to betting, doesn't it?
Somebody in the American League that could do it that no one would expect.
Oh, in the American League. I know it sounds like a long shot too, but Tampa. I mean,
okay.
Tampa, the reason why I pause about Tampa is because Tampa's got some pitching injuries that's been devastating them quite a bit, but they still have Randy Arozarena. They have Curtis Mead, who's a nice prospect that they come up. They have enough of a pitching staff there to scare you because in the postseason, that's when shit changes. And I think if they can get in the wild card, I think Tampa is a team that can surprise you. It's just a matter of what they do at the trade deadline. But I like Tampa a lot. They're just Baltimore's such a juggernaut. It's just ridiculous. Like just their AAA team last year was one of the best AAA teams ever assembled. And now they have Jackson Holliday. And him and Kirsten Hurst just sitting there. And they just can go and get them when they want. And I wish the Tigers had a luxury like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tigers got some prospects, but fuck, Baltimore's.
Oh, they're loaded.
So man. Tampa Bay, 16-1 to win the American League.
Are you jumping on it?
Jumping on it.
Of course he is.
He's getting on that action, right? Yeah.
I think just in the time that we've been talking with Raj, and again, make sure you follow Raj all over Rajcast. What's the baseball? Yeah, and make sure you follow him on Twitter. Some of the, I think the Dodgers just spent another $100 million on their roster. They're trying to, use the DNA of Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale to make another pitcher. I mean, that's what the Dodgers do. I think the Dodgers have also been, kind of proof positive that just because you spend a lot of money, it doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't ensure anything. But when you look at the NL, you have to maybe start with the Dodgers, right, Raj?
Yeah, you have to start with the Dodgers because the Dodgers, in terms of even player development, too, they have a very deep system. They signed Jordan Montgomery because why the hell not? We have money. It's crazy. But the distraction with Ohtani right now, whether he bet or not, I like to think he anyway. The Dodgers, I think the one thing that you have Mookie Betts. Let's think about this for a second, guys.
Mm-hmm.
When have you seen, and I'm going to ask you this from a hockey player standpoint too, have you ever seen a player go from defense to forward and be just as good as they were. I mean, think about this for a second. Mookie Betts is playing shortstop at a pretty fucking good level.
Yep.
And just made a transition like that, going, you know what? I'm going to play shortstop. And that's a shortstop is the hardest position in the infield. And he making it look easy. He's making I mean, that to me is mind blowing. And that's what, if you're a Dodgers fan right now, that's what you're going to be excited going, man, this guy's making it look simple. That player alone he's an MVP type player. And that's why the Dodgers, the only thing I get concerned with is come postseason, for whatever reason, I think maybe the layoff or whatever the case is, the Dodgers can't get that done. But if they can figure that part out, that break of stopping a team, like a hot team, like say the Phillies, I think Phillies are built. The Phillies have a very good, it's weird to think that Dave Dombrowski built a good bullpen because he's never has, and now he has. It's like, holy shit, like this guy's actually, he learned from his mistakes now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited as a baseball fan to watch Mookie Betts play because she's the kind of guy that really is a difference maker. And I think the NL West is such a fascinating division because San Diego, they spent a lot of money. They didn't see a lot of results, but Fernando Tatis, same thing. He went from shortstop to right field and was one of the best defensive outfielders in the league last year. That's another hard transition to do. You knew he had the arm, but defensively, and then they have a guy like Jackson Merrill making his major league appearance, coming up, never, a career minor leaguer just out of high school. He's hitting home runs. San Diego's a team to watch out for that could sneak by, but no, it starts with the Dodgers, and I think I hate to say it, but the Braves too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Braves, with their disappointment in the playoffs last year, they seem to be everybody's darling. What do you like about the Braves this year?
What I like about the Braves is I think that they addressed all their offseason needs pretty quickly. I think the biggest thing for them is they understand that they have Philly. Although I'm surprised the Marlins are off to a terrible start. They are, but they went and decided to. They fleeced the Mariners. I mean, You get Kalanick, and both the pitchers from Seattle they get from the Braves are they're on the injured list for the season. Atlanta's smart, and they're thinking ahead a little bit, and I think that's what scares me about the Braves is if they can. I think they recognize the fact that they have to get some more. I'd say dudes on offensively. I mean, this is a team that's already top. Them and the Dodgers are already in like 15, 10 home runs or something like that, and are already on top of the NL. So I think Atlanta just needs to get some more starting pitching because I think the injuries I think it might creep up on them a little bit. I think they need a little more depth. But Atlanta and Philly, again, I don't know. I don't have this feeling about the Phillies, but I think the Phillies are going to make some noise in the East.
You know what? People can say whatever they want about Dave Dombrowski. Dave gets it done.
Dude.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of people around here look at him as the devil because of what he did to our system. But Raj, tip of the cap to Dave. I'm sorry.
No. Like, look, to me, Dave Dombrowski is one of the best GMs of all time. You look, okay.
Oh, I love hearing you say that.
Because this is a guy that, think about this. It starts in the 80s. He was a farm director for the White Sox teams. And then for whatever reason, and it's still, to me, it's still a great story. I'm sure you guys heard about this too, where Hawk Harrelson fired him as a GM. Hawk Harrelson was so threatened by Dave Dombrowski. He knew that he would be later some crappy play-by-play guy. But Dombrowski built the early 90s Montreal Expos.
Mm-hmm.
He fleeced the Dodgers on, the only trade he made that was like, he traded for Mark Livingston and then it backfired him. But he built the Marlins. But what he did with the Tigers in a year and a half after Randy Smith, and God bless Randy Smith. I know, Sean, you're probably going, why God bless Randy Smith? He did everything he could on a limited payroll. He traded everybody. He traded a lot to his dad, but still, Dombrowski was able to do that in a year and a half and make the Tigers relevant. And to that, if Tiger fans are mad that he left or like the farm system, he gave us the best decade of Tigers baseball in history. The Tigers were in the postseason consistently. They were relevant. They had a guy who had the Triple Crown. They had guys that were making national headlines. It wasn't just the 84 Tigers and done. The Tigers were consistently winning. And if you have a problem with Dave Dombrowski, then I have a problem with you as a human being because you don't know baseball.
Oh, I love hearing you say that. By the way, I want to echo some of your sentiments in a second. If you're going into the game today, make sure you check out our friends from Batch Brewing, Section 131. They got their own section. Obviously, we'd love to see you come down here. There's still time before first pitch today, and for great events. Try the barbecue, try some of the drinks. This is a great spot. There's no doubt about that. But if you're at the game, go check them out at Section 131. Raj, I always go back to this, okay? Think of the deals that he made, okay? And this is when I was living the sports radio life. The deals that he made that got universally, go Tigers, got universally crucified, whether it be the Austin Jackson deal. I remember the Doug Fister deal. I was on the air that day, and at the time, if you remember, a lot of people thought Ubaldo Jimenez went to the tribe at the time.
Yeah.
See, I can say the tribe because they were the tribe at the time. But I remember people going, can you believe this guy? What a moron. They went and got Ubaldo Jimenez, and we got this Doug Fister guy. Yep. Everybody had to eat their words on so many of those moves. And I challenge people, go back and look at some of the big moves that Dave Dombrowski made, because more often than not, people don't talk about it after the fact. Everybody, we're a reactionary society, and they pull their hair and go nuts. Some of those moves that Dave made were just genius.
The Carlos Guillen trade, the subtleness. Look, Carlos Guillen, to me, he's one of my favorite Tigers of all time. The guy's a constant professional. That trade right there, and you end up getting the guy back. You end up getting Ramon Santiago back from Seattle later.
Yep.
That's the genius of Dave Dombrowski, is those moves like that. The subtleness of then picking up Placido Polanco, who becomes your second baseman that for the first time in forever is a guy who's legit and is setting. He was a guy who just consistently can hit defensively. I don't know why. To this day, I'm still mad that the Tigers cheaped out and never re-signed him and said we went with Scott Sizemore. I will never understand it, but I digress. Dombrowski, though, it's those small moves, those little moves like that, where, I mean, to me, that's where he gets the most. He should be getting more attention. Yes. Am I mad that he traded Eduardo Suarez? Sure. For a journeyman pitcher? Yes. That was a crappy trade. But that's what Dombrowski does. He doesn't, I mean, I think but he's learned his lesson, though. If you look at their Philly system now, he could be rating the system more in trading, but I think he realizes the errors of his ways. And I'm saying he's adaptable. In his older age, a lot of GMs are stuck in his ways. Dombrowski is not like that at all. And I think he learned his lessons in Detroit. And again, I'm still confused with the help. Year after win the World Series, like, get rid of him. What?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Hey, we got to wrap things up in a second here. Can't thank our friends at Batch Brewing Company and a lot of you for coming out here as well. We'd love to see you out here in the future. We're going to be here draft night as well. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun down here. Raj, I can't thank you enough. Make sure you follow him once again at Rajcast Baseball on Twitter. He's with, and make sure you follow Tigers ML Report, MCB Tigers, Fan-Sided MLB, MCM Baseball Pod as well. Dude, we owe you some barbecue. So much, Mike, can we make some barbecue for Raj?
100%.
All right.
Absolutely. We can make barbecue for anybody, but someone that feeds me the wealth of baseball knowledge that I need to be a fan,
honestly, Mike,
I'll feed him anytime.
Honestly, Mike, I've been missing some of your sandwiches. I drive out to Eagle Harbor just to get a sandwich of yours, and I would do the same thing. You're like, hey, Roger, I'm in West Bloomfield. Fine, whatever. I'm coming from Dearborn. I'm going to get some of your sandwiches. Thank you, gentlemen. This has been awesome.
No, thank you. Mike, always a pleasure, my friend.
Absolutely.
Raj, always a pleasure, my friend. To all of you guys that came out here, our buddy Kurt Hunter. Nice to see Kurt out here as well. Kurt, thank you very much. Blake had to take off. He had to go to his other job. Todd, thank you for everything that you do. Really appreciate it. Make sure you check out the website. We've got great gear on there, a place where you can find all the broadcasts. I can't thank you enough. I know I sent out a message yesterday. I mean, our views have been skyrocketing the past week. So thank you. Most importantly, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy it. Like and subscribe and go to YouTube and do something at YouTube too. Same thing. Like and subscribe. All right. Did we get everything out there before we can say goodbye? I think we got everything
out there. I think we need to go get some jerk chicken sausage.
That sounds good to me. We're going to go get some jerk chicken sausage. Enjoy opening day. It really is a holiday here in our fair area, and certainly go Tigers. We'll see you.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Matrazak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Matrazak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.